What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Mock Draft Guy YouTube channel. And if you are watching this right now, that means that the NFL draft is finally closed. What an unbelievable weekend, or half a weekend, I guess you could say, it has been. It's been an absolute whirlwind from Thursday all the way to right now, which is right after the NFL draft has closed. So I thought it would be fun to do a top 10 steals of the 2024 NFL draft, and of course, top 10 reaches of the 2024 NFL draft. So you are watching the steals. The reaches will be uploaded at the exact same time. So you could hop right from this video to the other one or vice versa. So let's get into it. Right away, I think that before I talk about the 10 that are on this list, a couple things you should know. This is in no particular order. This is just 10 players that I think went to unbelievable situations for them, went a lot later than I thought they would, and will make an impact right away. That's how I think a steal really should be categorized as. Maybe not someone that goes, that should be going in round 5, that goes in round 7. Maybe not something like that. Some of these guys that look like they'll be high impact players right away, that are going to start right away, that are going to make an impact on their team. So, no particular order. Number 1 here, I have Javon Baker. Now, I thought that it was super surprising that after 2 days of the NFL draft, Javon Baker's name wasn't called. 6'2", 209 pounds. And I absolutely love the destination. I love what the Patriots are doing for Drake May. They drafted Jalen Polk. They're drafting Javon Baker. They have a plethora of young wide receivers, so they don't have to rely on Devontae Parker and Juju Smith-Schuster and all that kind of stuff. I love having Javon Baker on one side, Jalen Polk on the other. A little bit more possession-based receivers by both of those guys, but Baker's a phenomenal route runner, and he's a tremendous winner of 50-50 balls down the field. I think the Patriots are doing a really good job for setting Drake May up for success. So I thought Javon Baker, I wouldn't have been shocked if we heard his name called really early on in the 3rd round. Wasn't the case. His name was called quite early on day 3. So right around the top of the 4th round. I thought it was just a little bit lower than expected. So for me, that's a steal. If you can get a guy who's definitely going to start on the outside for you at the NFL level in the 4th round, immediate steal. So kind of the same deal here. We're going to Adonai Mitchell for the Indianapolis Colts. I thought, quite honestly, after what I was reading and what I was hearing, I thought Adonai Mitchell was a lock to be a top 20 pick. That was not the case. He fell to basically around the middle of the 2nd round, and he was nabbed by the Indianapolis Colts. Apparently, there's something about character concerns for Adonai Mitchell. I don't really buy that, to be honest with you. I don't know what it was, but if you want a complete wide receiver for the most part that loves to block, loves to compete, is a great route runner, good deep threat, great speed, great size, 6'2", 215 pounds around there, then Adonai Mitchell is your guy. Adonai Mitchell on one side, Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. Right away, you're giving Anthony Richardson awesome weapons and setting him up for success. So I love pairing this passing game with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. I think that this was an unbelievable pick by Chris Ballard. I mean, you could even argue that Laiatu Latu was a steal in the 1st round at number 15. He kind of fell into their lap, and it was the same thing here with Adonai Mitchell. He fell into their lap in the 2nd round, and they took him. Absolute steal, in my opinion. You're getting a wide receiver that will compete for 1,200 yards in your offense right away from day 1. Of course, a channel darling of mine, if you guys are fans of my content and my channel, Jackson Powers Johnson next. Again, another guy I thought was a lock to be a 1st round pick at some point. I thought he could have went as high as 16 to the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously wasn't the case. Honestly, a landing spot that I didn't expect. 2 picks really back to back for the Las Vegas Raiders that I didn't expect. And that was Brock Bowers and that was Jackson Powers Johnson. Johnson immediately impacts that offensive line in the most positive way possible. He's going to be a starter on that interior 100%, whether that be at center, whether that be at right guard. Not really too sure what their plans are, but I'm a fan of having a talent like Jackson Powers Johnson, then worrying about figuring out how exactly he fits into your offense. We don't have to worry about how he fits into their offense. Clearly, the Raiders have a plan. Delmar Glaze was another offensive lineman that they took. More on him in another video. But I love what the Raiders are doing. They're setting up their quarterback battle between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew to be awesome. They're setting them up for success with offensive line depth, with weapons. I think it's great, and I can't believe that they got him in the second round where they did. Now we're talking about my favorite defensive player from the entire draft class, the man who I will still die on this hill, and it won't be proven until I guess a few years from now. So we will come back to this one of those days. Is that Jerzon Newton? Johnny Newton is the best defensive player in the entire draft class. To me, I love that the Commanders went out and got him. That he was there doesn't really make sense in the current construct of the defense. A little bit more of an even front. You got Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen there, so I don't know how he fits into that rotation. Maybe they trade one of those two guys and Jerzon Newton is their new guy. But at the top of the second round, Jerzon Newton was sitting there. I fully expected someone to trade up to one of those top 3 or 4 picks at the top of the second round to get him. No need. He fell to the Washington Commanders. I think it's an absolute steal for them. He immediately upgrades that defensive line. Wherever he's going to play, he's going to be disruptive. He's a 90 plus PFF grade in run defending, in pass rushing as well. He's just an all around fantastic player that's going to be a disruptive force. So regardless if they trade one of those two guys or they keep them and they add Jerzon Newton to the mix, it's a devastating combination for offensive lines to have to deal with. I absolutely love the pick in the second round there. Now we're talking about a little bit more deep players here. This is Cam Hart, who was just drafted in the 5th round by the Los Angeles Chargers. An unbelievable pick for me, to be honest with you. For me, Cam Hart starts right away for the Los Angeles Chargers. I think maybe the injury history, maybe the injury concerns were the reason why this 6'2", 206-pound cornerback was taken in the 5th round of the NFL draft. But I think the juice is well worth the squeeze, to be honest with you. I think this guy is a starter at the NFL level right away on the outside, and I think he massively upgrades the secondary of the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers, for me, are one of the big winners in the entire draft. I think that they drafted very, very smart, and I think that they made a lot of really great picks, and Cam Hart is one of those picks that I think is just absolutely fantastic. Now we have Seattle Seahawks Christian Haynes here in the 3rd round. This is someone that I saw that I even mocked a couple times to be one of the top selections in the 2nd round. A lot of these interior offensive linemen seem to have fallen in this draft. We talked about Jackson Powers Johnson. Christian Haynes is another one. Christian Mahogany, Tanner Bortolini, Cedric Van Pran. A lot of these interior offensive linemen, just for the pure volume of depth that this class had in interior offensive linemen, I feel like a lot of these guys fell. But Christian Haynes is exactly what the Seattle Seahawks need in the 3rd round. They desperately needed to upgrade the interior of their offensive line. And to me, Christian Haynes was the best pure guard in the entire draft class. And if you're getting the best pure guard in the whole draft class in the 3rd round, that is an immediate win for me. Maybe a knock against him as well is the lack of competition at an independent in UConn. That could be it as well. But the man is incredible. He's a fantastic athlete, fantastic anchor. Athletic ability is just off the chart. This guy is going to be a home run pick for the Seattle Seahawks, and I absolutely love it. Now moving on, another one of my favorites in the entire draft class, and again, from the Los Angeles Chargers. We have Junior Coulson here. This is a guy, again, I thought was probably a lock to be a 2nd round pick for the most part, especially once Edgerrin Cooper went early in the 2nd round. I thought Junior Coulson was a lock. For me, one of, if not the best all-around linebackers in the entire draft class. For me, he's the best coverage linebacker in the class. And again, you're getting tremendous value. I believe he was picked at number 65 or 66, around there in the 3rd round. Fantastic value. This is a day 1 starter. You replace Kenneth Murray very, very easily here. Coulson is, you could argue because, the Michigan connection, all that kind of stuff, but it was a need. It was a big-time need. And he instantly upgrades the middle of that defense. The middle of the Chargers defense was just such a dead zone for them last year. And this is a guy who instinctually is off the charts. Athletically, he's off the charts. He's going to be one of those guys that you see in on every single tackle when you watch Chargers games. All the 7 Chargers fans that are out there that watch games, you are going to see him on your TV screen every single play that the defense is out there. It's an unbelievable pick. He's automatically going to be the quarterback of the Chargers defense. And I just think it's such a massive upgrade. And really, again, a guy who I thought was easily going to be a 2nd round pick, sliding into the top of that 3rd round there. I love the value. And then, of course, you want to talk about a linebacker with tremendous value, Peyton Wilson at the end of the third round for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For me, who were the biggest winners in the entire draft class. Yes, you heard that right. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers had the best draft of any team in the NFL. That's not a knock on any other team. I just think the Pittsburgh Steelers took all their needs and just blew them completely out of the water. Peyton Wilson, yes, high risk with the injury history, multiple ACL tears. He's coming with that injury history, true. 4.43 speed, and it shows on tape. Give me that all day long in the third round. I think that this is just a home run pick. You know the Steelers love their linebackers. They are not afraid to draft linebackers either. Peyton Wilson on the board. I believe it was pick 99 or 98, one of those picks around there, 97. I mean, give me that all day long. That is just some sensational value for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Troy Franklin, another guy who is a channel favorite for the most part. I love Oregon Ducks guys, and Troy Franklin was one of my favorite players in the entire draft class from the wide receiver position. I think it's a combination of a couple things. Troy Franklin, his size after the combine really turned a lot of people off in that mid 170 pound range. How is he going to fare against handsy, aggressive corners at the next level? Because in space, Troy Franklin is very, very difficult to cover. But if you get hands on him, he's rather easily neutralized. So they have to find a happy medium there in Denver. I think this is a smash grand slam pick for the Denver Broncos because A, you get a receiver that complements the receivers on your roster very, very well. And B, he already has a rapport with new franchise quarterback Bo Nix. So right away, I think that this is an unbelievable pick. Someone that I thought that was probably going to go at some point early on in day two falls to the beginning of day three. I believe he was picked number 102 in the fourth round. Unbelievable pick, unbelievable value, and I absolutely love it. And then our last of the 10 guys that I wanted to talk about, and before you guys say, oh, what about this guy? Oh, what about this guy? Yes, we could have been sitting here for hours talking about guys that were taken a lot later than they probably should have been. But these were the 10 guys that I thought are going to make an immediate impact right away at the NFL level for the teams that drafted them. So that's why I went with these 10. I was going to expand it to 15, but I figured you guys would just be cool with 10. And if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to hear the players that you guys think were drafted a lot later than they should have been. So our final guy here we're talking about is tight end Jared Wiley. This is the heir to the Travis Kelce throne here for the Kansas City Chiefs in the fourth round. Jared Wiley was one of a shock players that I thought fell to day three. I thought his combination of blocking ability, size, and just overall athleticism and receiving ability, I thought that was going to get him drafted maybe right after Ben Sinnott. I thought he was going to be tight end 3. Falls all the way to the fourth round. The Chiefs, the reigning champions, do not hesitate to swipe him up and take quite possibly Travis Kelce 2.0. I think Jared Wiley shows a lot of things on tape that are very similar to what we see from Travis Kelce, at least in the receiving aspect. Wiley, you don't have to worry about on the blocking side. He's going to make his money as a blocking tight end first and foremost. I know you're going to say, oh, they have Noah Gray. Oh, they have Blake Bell. Be that as it may, I think this is an immediate all-around better option. This lets them play out of 12 personnel and have a relative threat on both sides of the formation. Smash home run pick for the Kansas City Chiefs and Jared Wiley. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are my top 10 steals from the 2024 NFL Draft. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And please, if I missed a player that you thought was a steal for your favorite football team, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comments section below. I would love to get to it at some point. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out that top 10 reaches from the 2024 NFL Draft, and I will see you in the next one.